Hey guys, Kaze here. Welcome back. We're back with Secrets of Me. We're doing Meguru's extras, so let's see what happens. And as he goes decent, and of course we get to enjoy his lovely gallery. So let's get started with the sequel. Cutie. Wow, this wind is so nice. You're right, it smells just like Japan. Meguru smiled as he spoke. Meguru and I officially became husband and wife. I was in bliss. His new company was on track, and I had gotten used to living in Europe. In all honesty, I felt so homesick in the beginning. I stayed by Maguru's side and watched him as he worked busily. To support him, I did my best not to complain and whine about things. I wanted to do my best as well. Thanks, Meguru. How many times have you said that to me? Well, I'm just so happy. I really was full of joy. Meguru was always worried about me because I wasn't used to living abroad. This was his unexpected present to me for doing my best. What do you want to do once we get to Japan? First, I'd like to see how the Japanese branch is doing. Oh, that's right. Technically, I still have work to do. We have come all this way under the pretense of visiting the Japanese branch of his company. That was how we formally planned to temporarily return home. Our mode of travel was, of course, sitting on the Queen Mary. But is this really okay? What do you mean? I mean, you took on a tough schedule and planned to return to Japan for someone like me. Guru was always working all night and day. Don't be so hard on yourself. Guru, you're irreplaceable to me. Guru fixed his eyes on me and it made me feel a little dizzy. He then hugged me from behind. His arms held more tightly than usual. Honestly speaking, I was a little worried. Meguru usually never talked about his problems. I unconsciously put my hands on top of Meguru's. I vowed to avoid doing anything that would hurt you. But I'm so happy being with you. I was probably taking you for granted because you kept saying that to me. Guru's tone somehow felt glum. I brought you over to a foreign country and made you go along with my plans. I was so worried, but I demanded too much from you. You didn't. I'm truly happy. Noriko, nothing in this world could make me happier than being by your side and supporting you. You always say the same things. Meguru suddenly came closer, and his voice came through my ear and numbed my body. That dress looks lovely on you. I knew it would. My dress for the night was wine red and had a low cut. It folded my body's curves, and I was a little embarrassed. Your body looks like a beautiful sculpted statue. I ordered those accessories and shoes just for you. Huh? For me? Yes, they look great on you. He released me from his arms. Meguru brought his hot hands up along my back and onto my shoulders. Something this beautiful is wasted on someone like me. That's not true at all. I was surprised as Meguru spoke bluntly to me. Jewel-encrusted accessories, beautiful shaped shoes. His breath grazed my ear. They're all just objects that make you more beautiful. No, you're exaggerating. I was starting to feel dizzy. Your humble, reserved nature is just another thing that attracts me to you. Meguru, he praised me like this to no end. Someone like me who had had plastic surgery. But as I heard Meguru's words, I really started to feel that every inch of my body was beautiful. You aren't just beautiful on the outside, you possess a beautiful personality as well. You're my one and only. Meguru saw through me as he whispered to me in his low voice. But, you look the best in your most natural state. No! He suddenly traced his finger along my back and made my body jump. Oh, you're more sensitive than usual. It's because you keep praising me. So you get sensitive when I compliment you, huh? Guru's voice echoed in my ear, seducing me. I'm glad I brought it up. His hands went straight for my breast. Guru's subtle fingers touched my sensitive areas. My body was already hot and I moaned as electric stimulus ran through my body. No, not in a place like this. It's okay, we're alone. But, don't be scared. His voice guided me as he lifted my chin up. Noriko. As he hugged me from behind, Meguru kissed me passionately, yet silently. I felt like I was melting inside the sweet pleasure. The kiss gradually became more intense, and my mind was drawing a blank. A surprisingly loud voice leaked out from my mouth, but I couldn't fight the pleasure. When you let out that lust-filled voice, it sounds like you want me to go all the way. Meguru's voice sounded sexier for some reason. I was sure we felt the same way. Meguru, don't make those teary eyes in front of anyone else but me. I won't. You're all mine. He looked at me with his sultry eyes and teased me with one more kiss. Meguru held my waist and my head as he intensified the kiss. My entire body pulsed as our lips filled with passion for each other's kiss. I let the strength out of my back, and Meguru supported and leaned me over. I want to do you like this. He spoke to me between our kisses. Meguru's hand then caressed my body as he went down to my legs. My heat started to swell inside me as he groped my most sensitive region above my dress. The pleasure was numbing. Meguru hugged me over and over. Each time he embraced me, my body became even more sensitive. Do you want me? Yes. You're so naughty. You always tempt me like this. I felt his soft lips chisel my ear and neck. As he continued, I let a strange moans my body started to wither. Meguru's breathing and kisses swallowed me up little by little. Do you want me to continue doing this? Before I could say anything, I squealed and nodded. You're so cute. Meguru slowly slid his hand under my dress. At the same time, he gently played with my chest. I put my hands on top of his. I finally caught him at last. My body melted with each of Meguru's touches. Are you sure you want to scream that loudly? We are outside, you know. I was filled with embarrassment after he pointed out how lewd I was being. My legs grew weak. I couldn't find the right words to say. The voice that leaked out of my mouth was filled with pleasure. There was nothing I could do anymore. My body was on fire. Then let me hear that voice some more. Meguru suddenly lifted me up, and I was off of the ground. You look so greedy. You're the one who made me this way. I rolled my words in desperation. Meguru sealed my lips with his. The sensation on my lips was so lovely that it was almost heart-rendering. After his deep kiss, he looked at me with piercing, passionate gaze. You made me so obsessed about you. I don't even care if you regret any of this. I don't regret it. I'm glad we met. Me too. Meguru put his hand around my neck and lightly kissed my cheek. I love you, my sinful lady. Your beauty is so maddening and lovely. His words made the fire inside my body grow even hotter. I want to etch myself into you and prove that you're mine. I replied with a smile, and Meguru slowly kissed my forehead. He then brought me to our room. I was gently put down on top of the bed, and Meguru kissed every part of my body softly. As I became intoxicated by this gentle sensation, my body was completely naked. I hadn't even realized it. Yeah, you look really great. It was like he was checking to make sure my body really belonged to him. Meguru's fingers and lips made me feverish. Each and every part of Meguru's body was filled with his love. How many times in my life would I be able to think about him like this? I want to go inside of you. Okay, Meguru. It was like our bodies had become one as we laid on top of each other. You're so pretty, Noriko. I moaned and Meguru plunged my lips. I gradually intensifying movements and waves of pleasure swept me away. I love you more than anyone else. You're my first and final love. After hearing those words, I smiled, and Meguru was the only thing reflected in my pupils. Me too. I love Meguru more than anyone else in the entire world. Oh, well, at least our love is very, very much going on strong in that one. So let's see what our date scenario brings for us. Obsess over me. That doesn't seem to be a hard thing. It's just the other way around. Oh, it's just be easy. Now then, where should we go today? I fixed my hair in front of the mirror. Gear's new brand had shown up in a lot of different places. He had done very well, so the two of us had come back to Japan. At first, I had trouble getting used to my room being on the Queen Mary, but I was accustomed to it now, and it was comforting being there. Meguru was passionate about buying a house in Japan, but we had no idea how we were going to live abroad in the future. So that's how I started living on the Queen Mary. I'm all ready, so I think I'll go to... Just then, my cell phone started to ring. The person calling was my beloved Meguru. Hello? And Noriko, her voice is so lovely even on the phone. Just hearing your voice gives me energy. Oh, Meguru, don't say those embarrassing things out of the blue like that. I could hear him chuckling on the other end of the phone. More importantly, why did you call? Well, my plans just got canceled. They got canceled? Yeah, so I wanted to invite you on a date. Are you serious? Yep. I was elated. We were going to go on a date. It had been such a long time, too. There was nothing I could do, though, because Meguru was the CEO of his company. He hardly ever had time for a break. We could finally spend some leisurely time with each other today. I'll come pick you up right now. That was the last thing Meguru said before hanging up. I was a bit confused, though. After thinking about it, since today was his long-awaited vacation day, shouldn't he use it to actually rest? I could make him a home-cooked meal as if we were newlyweds. That would be lovely. I decided to suggest it to Meguru later. There was one more thing. I changed the clothes Meguru had given me. I'm here. Meguru opened the door and came into my place. That was fast. I flew over here in my private helicopter. You flew? In your helicopter? Yeah, I want to get here as quick as possible. Before he could finish talking, Meguru stroked my hair. He then wrapped me up in his arms. I felt so relieved. Being in his arms made me so happy. I was sure this was what happiness was. I loved being in Meguru's arms. They were so warm, and feeling him around was magnificent. I feel it's so at ease when you're like this. Me too. We quietly looked into each other's eyes, and then we slowly kissed. My heart was pounding so hard that even Meguru could hear it. My heartbeat was uncontrollable. This feeling was like a small bit of heaven. Our lips finally separated, and Meguru began to smile. Now then, where should we go today? About that, what is it? Never get any time off, so don't you think it'd be better if we just relaxed? You're so kind. Then let's do this. Huh? Meguru pulled my hand and took me outside of the boat. Meguru, where are we going? For a walk. That should be relaxing, right? He pulled me along, and we ended up in the shopping district. I thought about it, and this is where I met Meguru for the first time. This is where we first met. I tensed up. It was like he read my mind. I felt a little embarrassed because it felt like he had read my thoughts, but thinking about how our hearts were connected made me happy. This was the first place we had met. You're right. It's an important place for the both of us. I thought you were beautiful since the first time I'd seen you. No way. Maybe it was fate that you got covered in mud. You hugged me out of the blue and given me those clothes. I'd been dumbfounded. You're right, but in the end, I made the right choice. Meguru stared at me and nodded. Your clothes look great on you. Thanks. I was glad I had worn them. Shall we go? Yeah. Meguru tugged on my hand and we continued walking. It's been a long time, hasn't it? He looked up at Zaza's Japan's main branch, mumbling to himself. Do you ever reminisce about working here? No, it's not like that. He brought me here, but I had so many memories of this place. But not all of them were pleasant. We're happy together now, but I'd been so anxious back then. I glanced upward at Meguru. He looked a little anxious and unsettled. I wanted to say something supportive, but... what's the matter? If you're up for it, why don't we go to the cafe I work at? Don't you mean worked at? I hope I don't still work there. That'd be weird. Was I trying too hard? It felt like I was forcing us to do something different, but Meguru didn't seem to mind very much. Sure, let's go. This time I tugged on Meguru's hand as we walked towards the cafe. After we had gotten to my cafe, the hospital, and all our memorable places, we slowly walked hand in hand as we recollected our memories together. It was very refreshing, and I felt so happy. But I felt anxious from time to time. I had Meguru feel as we took our trip down memory lane. Thanks for today. Don't be absurd. I should be the one thanking you. No, I had a lot of fun walking around with you. It was a good change of pace. Meguru smiled at me from the other side of the table. After walking around everywhere, Meguru escorted and dressed me up. He brought me to a fancy restaurant for dinner. But Meguru suddenly started frowning. What is it? I was startled by his sudden change. Honestly, that tired me out more than work. What? Am I bothering you? No, you don't tire me out. I just haven't exercised in a while. Oh, well, same goes for me. I felt so relieved. You haven't been exercising lately either? But you look so cheerful and charming today. Did he just call me charming? But he only walked around, so it shocked me to hear him say that. Had I been walking strangely? I noticed that Meguru was staring right at me. Is something wrong? He didn't answer and cracked a smile. It made me feel a bit embarrassed. Don't stare at me like that. Sorry, you're just too beautiful. I started to blush as his straightforward eyes pierced me. His praise started to make me grin. I remember how you used to be as we walked around together. Meguro slowly took my hand and topped the table. You were beautiful before, but your beauty is so much more refined and polished now. No, that's too much. You really don't have to be so humble. Meguru? Noriko, you should be more confident in yourself. You are my pride and joy, after all. I spoke honestly, and I slowly nodded. But I was really worried about how you look gloomy from time to time. His words suddenly made my heart jump. Um, well, if you've done something to upset you, tell me. You don't have to hold yourself back. I'm sorry. I never meant to make you worry so much. Could you talk to me about it? Sure. I slowly started to mumble. You didn't do anything wrong, so don't worry. Meguru stayed silent and paid full attention to me. It's just, we saw so many places today, and I remembered so much. I looked out the window. The scene was so beautiful that it was breathtaking. Seeing such a pretty view with Meguru made me so happy. And yet, the happier I felt, I started to feel a little nervous. Nervous? About what? That you remember the good memories along with the bad ones. You were worried about me? Yeah. A lot has happened between us, you know? I hung my head low and Meguru stroked my hair with his warm hand. Meguru? You're so... What? I looked up and Meguru was smiling at me. It was the same old, gentle, charming smile. Well, let's continue this talk in the bedroom. I nodded and Meguru brought me to a hotel. He reserved a room in a high-class hotel and sat me down on the bed. Meguru knelt down in front of me and looked at me. You're always thinking about me, aren't you? That's all I can do for you. It makes me feel like the happiest man in the world. He pushed me onto the bed. His seductive stare made my body go numb. You have nothing to worry about. Really? Yes, our future together is the only thing that's on my mind. He brought his face closer and pressed his soft lips on my forehead, cheeks, and neckline. But a part of me wants to make you worry too. I could feel his breath on my ear and it slowly lit a flame inside of me. But why? Because I could tell you how much you love me from your worries. No. His hands were like those of a glassworker. He diligently took off my clothes piece by piece. It was embarrassing, but I was happy to know that he cherished me. I entrusted myself to him. I've been drawn to you ever since we've met. You weren't just pretty on the outside, your personality was too. He kissed me passionately to finish off his sentence. I trembled with joy. As I bit my lip, Meguru embraced me. It felt even better than his kisses. Do you want more? Yes. His kisses gradually became more passionate, making me grow weak. My heart began to race. Noriko. As Meguru touched my sensitive areas, I bent my body backwards in delight. Let me hear more. His fingers ran through the core of my body. The maddening stimulus engulfed me, and I clung to Meguru's blurry body. Do you love me? Yes, I love you. You're so cute. Meguru. I think I raised my voice as our bodies got close to each other. Meguru's strong arms wrapped around my entire body. He taught me what true happiness is. His deep, sweet voice resonated throughout my body. Love me more. Show me more of yourself. Meguru, I love you more than anything. I love you more with each coming day. I moaned because of the intense pleasure and could not think about anything as he whispered to me. Noriko. He kissed me deeply over and over, and then our bodies and minds became one. I wanted to sink deeper and deeper into Meguru. No, it left us. It's all gone. Oh, but it was good. Let's enjoy the gallery. Our final times with Meguru. When he kissed our foot. I just love him. He was interesting. It's very interesting. And our first night together, which I wish he didn't make such a sad face in that one, but it was still intriguing. And then promises to come back to us. Oh. But dang, it took him so long. It took him, what? This one was 3 months it took him to come back. And there's that ring in the bouquet of flowers that we couldn't see. All we saw was his hand. It's like you can't see the thing below it. I was like, oh my god, why? And then this one, what, 6 months? But yay, we became a model. I wonder if we got married in that one, though. Or if in the other normal, the best one, if still he named the brand after us. I wonder. Good questions. Well, that wraps up Meguru Yakushi. So that's all of Meguru there for you. Yay! So that's the good news. And now, I want to tell you guys who we're doing next. Because we had Shun, Hosaka, Mizuki, Kudo, and Ryunosuke Tachibana. However, the winner, I actually took this down. It's on my phone. Where are you, phone? Here you are. The winner of the voting is actually Mizuki Kudo with 24 votes. He's the competent detective. Mizuki is meddlesome and full of curiosity. He's an optimist and a social butterfly. So let me click on him. Yeah, it's who we're doing next right there. And, ooh, he has like the most photos of them all. So that's awesome. Which will mean Shun, Hosaka, and Ryunosuke Tachibana will be the next ones to vote for in his chapters. So we'll be doing his Mizuki's throughout the week. And I hope you guys enjoy that. Shun Hosaka actually got 8 votes and Ryunosuke got 5. So make sure if you guys want to see your guy as our next one, leave it in the comments or leave it in the poll so we can find out who we're doing next. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, bye. Kaze out.